guys, it's Will here and welcome back to another video. Today I'm bringing you guys a really requested video, and that is a thumbnail tutorial. A lot of my thumbnails personally do look very nice, and a lot of people have wanted me to do a video on how I make them. So without further ado, let's go on into the video. So you are going to need Photoshop. Any version is good, but Photoshop CS6 is the latest and best version. There'll be a link in the description down below where you can download it for free. I did do a video on that, so I'll leave a link in the description explaining exactly how you download it free in under 5 minutes. But yeah, the first thing you're going to need to do is press File and New. And that is then going to open up this page here. Now this is where you actually make the size of your thumbnail. Now you want to do it in pixels, and you want it to be 1280 by 720. That is the size of a YouTube thumbnail, so you want it to be that big. And then the background, set that to transparent, as it's just slightly easier to see what you're doing. And then just press OK. Now this is the actual thumbnail, so you're going to be making everything in this. Now I'll leave a link in the description down below, as well as the link to Photoshop. I'll leave a link to a place where you can download the background that I use. Now this particular background I use in all of my thumbnails, and it does look really cool. So I'm just going to open that up, and then I'll show you guys exactly what it looks like. So this is the background that I use, guys. It's made up of a lot of different aspects. We've got, I'll just show you guys kind of the basic aspects of this. We've got just a standard FIFA 16 squad background there. We've then got this thing right here, which is kind of like just some triangles and some texture. We then have got a slight shadow at the top. We've got a couple of the FIFA 16 kind of lines there. And then we do have a slightly bright white light over the top, just to kind of make everything stand out a bit more. And then we do have the triangles right here. So this is the background. Now to change the color of it, what you're going to need to do is select this layer right here, which is the red background there. And now if you go to image, go to adjustments, and then go down to hue and saturation, you can then actually change it here. So for example, make it yellow, make it green, make it blue. I'll make a blue one for this thumbnail, so we go there. Let's go with kind of this shade of blue right there. You can also change the saturation and stuff if you want. You can make it quite dark like that. You can make it quite bright like that. You can kind of just mix it about and do what you want with that. So just go like that. And then for the background here, you don't need to change anything there. So this is the whole kind of thumbnail background that we actually need. Now what you next need to do is go over and get your cards to put on the thumbnail. No matter what type of thumbnail you are doing, you're going to need player cards. It could be a squad builder, a training video, or an informative video. 90% of the time you are going to need to use some player cards on the thumbnail. Now I get mine from Foothead. I go to the card generator link, which I'll leave a link in the description down below to, and then you can just kind of make the card and whatever. So if you go to new player here, let's for example use Messi. So I'll just download him already. Let's go to Ronaldo like that, download him as well, and then let's go with Suarez too. So we just type in Suarez, go with Suarez right there. Now once you've actually got your cards downloaded down here, they're already going to be kind of in your computer. They're going to be in the download section. So what you want to do is then go over to here. Now you go to open. Then if you go to, I think it's this PC, you can then go to downloads. It might be different on your PC. I'm using Windows 10. And now you can just type in here the name for your player. So type in Ronaldo, then press open. And you want to do that with all of your cards. So as you can see right now, we've got all 3 of the cards in Photoshop. You can see up at the top, this is where you can navigate between the different sections. So what you're going to want to do is make your thumbnail on this. This is the same size as this thing here that I showed you. If you want to start from scratch, maybe use a different background like the FIFA 16 background, you can do it on here. But if you do want to follow my exact tutorial to make a thumbnail very similar to mine, you want to use this background right here, which there will be a link in the description down below to go and download. But then you have got all your players here, and now you're going to want to put them onto the thumbnail. Now, something I like to do is, for example, if I've got a left winger, a right winger, and a striker, I'll put the right winger here, the left winger here, and the striker in the middle. It just kind of looks a bit better. Also, maybe if you've got 2 players from the Premier League and then 1 player from the Liga BBVA, put the Liga BBVA player in the middle, and then both of your BPL players on the side. Maybe you've got an informed player and 2 goal players, put the informed player in the middle. You want to make it look symmetrical, you want to make it look good. So that is what we are going to do right there. So I'm going to put Suarez in the middle, and then Ronaldo and Messi on each side. So what we're going to do is firstly get Ronaldo. Now you want to press Control A, which will select everything here, then Control C, and that's going to paste or copy it, and now you can paste it into here. So if you then go to thumbnail background again, and you can just press Control V. Now you want to drag this up to the top of the layers because you don't want it to be underneath anything. So you just drag it up like I did there. So now you've got this card right here that you can move about and do all that stuff with. So what you want to do is press Control T, and that is going to bring up this kind of menu here. You can resize the player, and then if you hold Shift, it is going to do it so that he stays with like the same shape. Because if not, for example, you can do that, and that doesn't look very good. So what you want to do is hold Shift as you do this, and then you can drag it like that, which will look a lot better. Now I'm going to go with about this kind of size here, which is a height of 6,444 right there. I'm not sure what dimensions that is, if it's in pixels or what. But so yeah, we're going to put that card right there. We can resize them slightly later on, but that is what I'm going to do to begin. We then have messy, so again, Control A, Control C, then go to the thumbnail background, then Control V to paste him, and he is now in position. Now if you just hold him just above Ronaldo, he's going to kind of lock into position, and the bottom of the card will lock into position on that one. So then you could just do Control T and then hold Shift, and now you can drag Messi to exactly the same size as Ronaldo right there. So once you have done that, you just want to press apply, and finally if we get Suarez, we just again Control A, Control C, then go to thumbnail background, then Control V, and he's now going to be pasted into there. So we're just going to keep him down here for the moment because I've got to get both of these cards into position. So what I'm going to do is get the first card right here, which is Messi, and drag him over to the side like this. I want them to be lined up so they kind of have a small gap on each side really, because then it just looks better. But you want to have a space in the middle to actually put your Suarez cards. You want to make sure that they're lined up. So for example, just use the line at the bottom. The line of the kind of the penalty area of the pitch behind is what I use to line up the bottom of the cards. So once you have done that, you've got all the cards in place. For that, you then want to get Suarez, and you want to drag Suarez up to here, and now Control T, then hold Shift, and you want to make him a bit bigger than your two players in the middle, just so he kind of stands out a bit. So we'll just try that out. For example, drag him into place. That looks good because the top kind of bits of his card just cover up the other kind of top bits of this card right here, so it kind of looks quite neat. It looks quite clean at the top, so that is quite a good start right there. So once you've got the cards in position right here, you can now kind of fine tune their position. So for example, if you look down at the sides of the penalty area here, you can see that these players here just need to be slightly moved. So we move Ronaldo to the side there, we can then move Messi slightly to the side here, and now they're both perfectly symmetrical on this thumbnail. So now Suarez, just fine tune him, get him to the right position there. You can zoom in by holding Control and then pressing the addition button. So then you can just drag him like that. Check the top, just check it's all lined up. There we go, drag that to there. And there you go, now you just press Control and the minus button, and he's going to come out. So now we've got all the players on the thumbnail. We can make some slight changes to them. So if you just select the player by clicking on it in the kind of layers menu, then go to adjustments, brightness and contrast, and then just put a contrast of 50. And it's just going to make the card slightly more shiny, it's going to make it golden, and it's going to make the triangles kind of in the back, the textured triangles at the back of the card stand out. So now you just want to select Ronaldo there, or your next player that you have, and then you just want to put a contrast of 50. I think that was Messi actually. Then we do it with Ronaldo right here. So then go adjustments, brightness and contrast, and then go with a contrast of 50. And as you can see, it just makes the cards quite a bit more shiny. Now we're going to want to add text to the thumbnail. So if you just go to the text little icon here, and then just drag a box right here. So this, let's just call it best ever squad builder, for example. So now you just type in best ever here, and then have the squad builder underneath. So just drag the text up to the top. Now I use two different fonts. I use EA Sans Curve and I use Knoll. They're the two fonts that I use. So we've got that right there. We're going to just select it. Now you're going to want to make this quite a lot bigger. So around 150. Let's try that out. Maybe a bit bigger. You kind of want it to be the same width as all the cards. So maybe go with 200. Let's see what that's like. Not 2,000. 200. That's maybe a tiny bit bigger. So 220. There we go, about 220, maybe 210 will be perfect. Yeah, 210 looks perfect right there. So now we're going to just line the text up right there. Now that all looks good. So you then want to just select the text like that. Now you don't want to have it italic, so to change that all you're going to need to do is this. Just select the text right there by clicking that, and then you go up to here, and this is going to bring up a little menu where you can kind of change lots of things to do with the text right here. So just select it like that, and then you can remove italic. So I think I just had it italic because I used that in a previous thumbnail, but now we can just line that up, and that looks perfect. So now what you're going to need to do is actually change the color of the text. So we're going to go with yellow. I either use a yellow color or I use a green color. So I'm going to go with a slightly kind of golden one right here. If you want, you can copy that down. So F6 CC is 0A. That is the color that I'm using. So now you've got the color here, but that doesn't really look that good. That color right there. You can't really see it. So what you want to do is now go over here. You want to press. You want to right click, go to blending options, and now you can actually change what it looks like. So I give it a drop shadow to begin with. So that's down here. So you go with the drop shadow, you can then click on drop shadow. Now I just bring the size up a bit, and I also bring the spread up a bit. So that is now a spread of 15 and a size. Let's go with 30 just so you guys can easily copy it. There we go. So you want that. Now that makes it stand out a lot more. We're going to want to add a couple more things though to this text. So if we go to, I think it's inner glow, whereabouts is that? Inner glow right here. That kind of gives it just a tiny little line around the edge, which makes it slightly more visible. Then you're going to want to go to gradient overlay. Click on that. As you can see at the moment it's black and white, but if you click on that you can then change it right here. So I'm going to go to this one here, which is the golden and yellow one, and now you just change the opacity down a bit, bring it down to, let's go with about, what should we go with, maybe a bit lower than that. About 20 is good. About 20 for that is really nice. So now the text kind of just pops a bit, and it's quite clearly visible for the person looking at the thumbnail. They're going to easily see best ever when they look at the thumbnail. So for example, if you're doing best 100k team, they're easily going to see that, and they're going to know what they are looking for when they are looking for that video. Next up, you're going to want to add another little bit of text at the bottom, just saying squad builder. So if you just make another box like this, then type in squad builder like this. And now we have actually written it in the EA font. It kind of automatically selects the font, so I'm just going to have to do this so I can select all of it, so just do that. Now you want to select that and change it to Knoll. Now I'll leave links in the description to go and download these fonts as well that I use, because they are probably the best ones for thumbnails. So now we just want to change this down to, I normally use about 80, but you can use anything up to about 100. 100 looks quite good as well, so I'm just going to go with 80 right now. So you just want to do that. I've selected 800 for some reason, but 80 like that, and then do that. So now we have got a little bit of text down here just saying squad builder. So you just want to line it up with the kind of the ends of these cards, just make sure that it is lined up in between them. Then you want to select the text again like this, and now you want to make it white. I always use white at the bottom here. So just select it like that. So now we're going to want to do the same kind of changes to our text using blending options. So if you just go to the squad builder bit here, then go to blending options, then you just want to do a drop shadow again. So I'm just going to do roughly the same. So just bring the size up to 30 like that. Bring the spread up to 15 like that. And now it's just going to stand out a little bit more right there. And now we're just going to add one more, which is going to be the gradient overlay. So we just go here, we can go to gradient overlay, select that, and now obviously we don't want this. I'm going to use this one right here, which kind of gives it a little bit of black. So that's half of it's transparent, half of it's black. And now I'm just going to bring down the opacity to about 25, and that looks quite good. Now the final thing you're going to need to do, you can just retract these so it's slightly easier to see. You then want to right click, then go to duplicate layer, and do that, and now go here and go to best ever, and then press duplicate layer as well. So now we've got a double one of these layers that kind of stands out a bit more. And what you're now going to need to do is just get the layer that's at the bottom, so in this case best ever. Then you're just going to want to drag that down. So if you just zoom in by holding Control and then holding the plus button, you can bring that down so it's slightly more accurate. You can see what you're doing. Now you just want to drag it down like that, so it kind of pops out a bit more, the text, and it's more clearly visible. So then you just want to do the same with this thing here. Now this is slightly smaller text, so again you have to zoom in a lot here to just be really accurate. You want to make the thumbnail look good, which is pretty important. So once you've done that, that is the finished thumbnail really. You've got everything you do need in the thumbnail and it looks pretty cool. So what you do then need to do is you want to save it, and if you want to save it to use on YouTube, you want to save it as a PNG. But what I recommend doing is saving a template and saving it as a PSD file. So if you do this, then just call it, for example, template right here, template for thumbnails, like that. Save it as a PSD like that, and now you're going to be able to just change it whenever you want to make a different thumbnail. All you need to do is just replace the players. You know exactly where they are because you just cover them here, and then you can just delete them from this little selection here, and then you can just change the text and it's going to keep the same effects and everything. But if you do want to use it specifically for YouTube, just call it, for example, best team like this. Then just go to PNG because that is the format that you need for your thumbnails for YouTube. Now I have a specific folder for them, which is down here. As you can see, I've got all my thumbnails here, and then I just press save and then OK, and that is going to save it, and that is now ready for use. I want to show you some other thumbnails which you can make using this format. It doesn't have to be a squad builder. For example, here is another squad builder one. This is my classic kind of squad builder thumbnail right there, but that follows exactly the same format as this one here. But for example, if we go here and then scroll down, let's find a different one which I have used. I do this for pretty much all my thumbnails. I use the same kind of format to make most of my thumbnails really. So we've got another one here, basic design. You've just got the cards in the middle, then it says legends here, so you can do maybe an informative video like that. Another example, I've got quite a few ones that I do make using this very similar format. For example, this one here. This is another informative video. I've just replaced the cards, put them slightly higher up with some small team of the season logos. But yeah, you can make a lot of different thumbnails just following this basic template. You can also not use the players, but just put some large text there if you need it. For example, like a video like this, you can just do the text on there. But yeah, overall, it is quite easy to do. Once you get the hang of Photoshop, you can easily make some great thumbnails like this. Which will look really good and will gain you extra views and extra subscribers on YouTube. So I definitely recommend that you guys try and make some thumbnails like this, get better at making them, and you can make yourself a lot better videos, a lot better thumbnails, and get yourself a lot more views. If you guys could smash 25 likes on the video, that would be awesome. I'd really appreciate that. As said, there'll be links in the description to download Photoshop CS6. I'll leave the link in the description to the video on how to download it. I'll leave links to Footed Card Creator and also links to anything else that I have used in the video. Anyway, hopefully you guys did enjoy it, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care.